Yeah, so I've been on Empower for the last 9 months, and this is everything I got back. I got this certificate, this cool shirt, another cool shirt, and holy salts.
Holy what?
Holy salt.
In that little container.
Yes, and I, as you just saw, I care nothing about those. What I really care about are the experiences I had on this journey. And that's what I want to talk about today. Is just my top 6 experiences on Empower.
Alright.
So I designed this in a way so that people coming late, they don't get to see the boring experiences. They get to see the top 1 experience, right?
So you put us through the boring bits.
That's what's, right, exactly. Yeah, the internal stuff.
You should have come later.
No. Okay, so yeah, that's how I wanted to start. Let's just turn it on. Okay, let's begin.
Put light off.
So, as you can see, I was actually really grateful and lucky enough to be voted to give the graduation speech of Empower. As you can tell, I'm still 18, so I have voice cracks. But yeah, and so how did I get here? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. Just so many crazy experiences, learning to make crazy talks, lectures like this, doing crazy, incredible things, giving lectures to amazing guests, sleeping on the streets, new friends, giving testimony, amazing people, and friendships. Alright, me and Sasha are here. We're on our trees. Sasha, go for it. Uncle Malcolm, if you... Hi guys. Good morning. Uncle Malcolm?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. No. Yeah, Brian, Uncle Brian, could you push your chair a bit back and then...
Back a bit.
Daniel, maybe turn the light off.
Steve, do you want to turn off the light as well, or no? Okay.
No, actually, it looks good.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, welcome guys. So I'm just going quickly through my crazy experiences. And then here is my friend Sasha showing his spitting ability. We were having a war, throwing cherries at each other in nature, really true father style. And here we are at our Christmas party. Thank you.
So that was a Christmas party, was it?
Exactly, yes. And the girls sang a song afterwards, but the boys obviously were much cooler. And then amazing role models. There's my spiritual baby, you can say. And yeah, so many crazy experiences. My dad was there giving lectures and power. Yeah, just going quickly through all the crazy things. And yeah, so many things. So how can I fit it all into one lecture? Well, I want to start from the very beginning, before actually Empower, in Austria. So I was scraping my bag along the ground, the big heavy bag, 20 kilos, and I finally made it to Vienna Center. Here I am, and yes, I made it. I went inside and I set up my camp, put down the yoga mat, put down the sleeping bag, and it's a big, if you guys have ever been there, it's a big room And you can see at the end of the hall, there's True Parents. And I look at True Parents and I start to reflect a little bit. And I say this, I remember saying this word for word, Heavenly Parents, True Parents, I'll be extremely lonely for the rest of this year and I will suffer, but I know that you will be with me. So I'm offering this year to you. I promise to work the hardest. I will miss my family so much, but you are with me. It's just 1 year. And at that time I just thought it was going to be 1 year, but I'm doing second year. But yeah, and then tears started coming to my eyes, but I didn't let them come to the surface because I thought crying wasn't cool at the time. So I didn't let that happen. But now I want to talk about, that was the beginning, the top 6 experiences from Empower. So that's what it's going to look like, starting with the first one. Does that sound okay for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I promise it's not going to be too long. First experience, working together with God. And this is maybe one of my nicest experiences because it was the first one, right? So I had a mission. I wanted to break the kickoff record, all-time SDF kickoff record, which was, and this was all I was thinking about, day in, every hour, 667. And I was wanting to do it for True Parents, not for True Parents so much, for second gen, because I feel like second gen need to step up more. And I just wanted to do this for that, genuinely. Okay, so it started in the morning. And this day I decided my mind is free from concept and open to God. I can show you the notebook later, but I wrote it at the beginning of the day. My mind is free from concept and open to God. But if we go the day before, for context, this is what happened the day before. So I got dropped off in my van, and then my team leader said, look, you have industrial area, and it was a Porsche company in Austria. Industrial, and you have residential. I want you to go to residential. And I was like, yeah, okay. And yeah, you could say, God was saying, do these houses. And I decided, no, I need 667 to break this record for second gen. So I'm going to the Porsche factory, definitely. And it didn't go well. So I know now, okay, all right, listen to God. Of course, back to the story. This was my first experience working together with God. So I'm running around the place, running around the area, fundraising, and I'm thinking now, I'm not gonna make it, actually. Today, I'm not gonna break the record. But God, I'm doing it for you, let's go, let's do it. So I keep on running, and I meet this Ukrainian family. And it was dark, it's not daytime like it looks here, it was very dark, and I say, hi, would you like to support? I'm Stephen from England, and I always do this jump because we're so proud of England. And they say, no, I cannot, we're poor. But, go over here, go over there. We just came from the doctors, and they are super, super nice there. They'll help you out. Go over there. But, again, the problem is that it's so far away. And the only reason I could see it was because it was dark and the lights were on and it was really bright. And I only have 40 minutes. I don't know if I want to do that. And then I remember, my mind is free from concept, open to God. Okay, alright, I'll go. And if this works, you're insane. I'm saying this to God. If this works, you're insane. And I repeat it over and over. I'm running to the doctors. If this works, you're insane. If this works, you're insane. And I make it to the place.
Right.
And somehow I got inside.
Right. Is that the actual place?
It looks very similar, but we don't want to talk about that. Somehow I got inside, and I go up to the first floor. I don't know how I found this place because it was, anyways, the doctors. And then what I'm expecting is like a rejection, but I have faith. And he says, very nicely, come, I'll take you to the boss. And here I am sitting on the chair, waiting for the boss, twiddling my thumbs with my product in one hand. And I'm thinking, wow, God, you're crazy. Is this actually gonna happen? Yeah. So, the boss. He was more friendly than
That's
that.
him, right? That guy.
He was more friendly, but time for a sales battle. But what he doesn't know is that I have true parents, Jesus, God, all on my side in this sales battle. So this was the result. I'll buy 2. And so will all my employees. And then in the end, they gave 120. And this was my first Dale Rose experience, because we have this term at the start, like, so my dad experienced, because he has so many crazy experiences. This is my first Dale Rose, Uncle Dale experience. And then I go back to the van and I tell the team, and God, you are amazing. You are incredible. And that was the first experience. My first experience working together with God.
And you made your goal, did you?
No, I didn't. I was counting, this is a funny story. I was counting a van and I thought, yeah, I broke my goal. Of course I did. And I was counting. Oh no, there's not much left. Oh no, I'm close. Oh no, I didn't make it. And thank you for asking, because I have the goal now that my team member is going to break this record. But not for my ego, for second gen. Okay, my second experience, and I want to remind you guys of this video. You probably watched it before, but let's watch it for a few minutes. So, from that video, it's definitely easy to get the concept that Tree Mother is always happy, all the time. And that's kind of my concept, I guess, in the beginning. But what this second experience taught me, or the culmination of this second experience, was that she has the responsibility of the whole world on her shoulders. And we had this experience, or this challenge, we do in challenge days in England as well, holding a bucket on your head for as long as possible, and then until someone tells you to stop. So I had this experience, and like an anime character, I was shouting all on my own, just in a big field and in Gatlands, and reflecting over my experience, the last experience, the sixth experience. So get ready for that one. But I was reflecting about this one and about True Mother, and this really brought me closer to True Mother. And even though it's a really small, short experience, it's definitely in my top 5. Yeah, and it was, really great experience. I can't say much more, just I hope you can tell that it was a really good experience. Okay, so third experience, my craziest individual interaction in fundraising, the whole of fundraising. So, again, starting the morning, I made a goal, experience this time my dad's heart of fundraising. That's what I put at the top of my notebook that day, and that's the mission. That was my whole goal. I didn't care about money, but that's the goal for that day, just experiencing my dad's heart of fundraising. And going near to the end of my area, I was running, and there was not much area left. So I was very happy when I saw, approaching the end of my area again, so happy when I saw a big church. Yes, there you go, another place I can fundraise. So I go in, and I brace myself, open the door, and wow, there's so many people. It's not even a Saturday or Sunday, it's a Thursday, and there's so many people. And I open the door, I look in, no. Never mind, no, I don't want to do that. And then I think back to what my dad was saying, go for it, son. And I remember my experience, my goal is to experience my dad's heart of fundraising. And my conscience would hurt so much if I didn't open the door again. And this is what was going through my mind. Totally, I'm not lying to you. And my dad says, sorry, not my dad, my central figure the day before said, Stephen, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. And this was definitely a cave I feared to enter. Okay, alright. Open the door again, but this time I just freeze. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna shout to everyone, or what am I gonna do? So, luckily, an old lady waves at me, and out of the crowd she jumps up and she sees a young person, right? So she waves at me and she says, I say to her, hi, I'm Stephen from England and I'm doing crazy things for a good cause. Want to support? Amazing, come back in 10 minutes and I'll tell everyone sitting on tables. Alright, cool, great. So 10 minutes, that's the plan. So I carry on doing this one more house that's on the right. And she opens the door and surprisingly, coincidence happens, or yeah, God happens, I guess, that she is actually the leader of this church called Patricia. And I didn't know it, but I asked her at the start, you're right next to this church. Can you, I don't know what it is about, Reformed Church, can you tell me? And then she brought out a laptop, she showed me a whole video, she started witnessing me for 15 minutes, the Reformed Church is this, that, and I'm like, wow, so interesting. Well, I need to go back to a meeting. Would you like to support with a small donation? And then, yeah, she gives me 10 francs. And this leads to something interesting later. So 15 minutes later, I'm late, I'm running back to the church, and I make it back. And I see, this is Christina. And I see Christina, she jumps up again, hey Stephen, you're back. And I tell her, hey Christina, I just talked to Patricia. And this is exactly her face. What? You talked to Patricia? You know Patricia? Yeah, she gave me 10 francs. And then she was mind blown. 10 francs? Okay, come in. And she pulls my hand, she brings me through to her friends, old friends, and they take my product off me. I'm like, okay, alright, they take my product and they pull up a piano out of the side of a room into the center of the room, and they stack frames up. And then they start putting them on the frames. They look like an auction house. They put and there was one guy, I'll tell you later, but then she grabs a cup and a fork, and then she did. Silence. Everyone looking at me. They gave me a microphone. And I'm speaking in English, and then they're translating in Dutch. Hi, I'm Stephen from England, and then they're all looking at me, and so then I say the whole spiel, and one guy, let's say Brian, one guy randomly stands up straight after my speech, and he instantly gives me 2 francs. And then no one else is standing, but then slowly people start coming up. And then the whole room starts looking at the pictures around the piano, around the auction, around the frames, and they're shuffling through the pictures. And then the leaders invite me to sit down with them and have chocolate cake. And then I'm talking to them about the problems of their community, so many old people, not enough young people. Yeah, that's a problem. I want to be the leader in the church later. I want to help God. And then they're like, wow, that's so amazing. And what's really cool is whilst I'm eating this chocolate cake, a huge line forms. Not as big as this one, but a line next to me forms. And then whilst I'm eating, this is exactly what's happening, I'm not exaggerating. I'm eating the chocolate cake, I'm taking money. Taking another bite, taking money. And it's so crazy, I'm just getting numb to it, but everyone just aligned forms and they're just, here you go. I took this picture, here you go. Or just take this. Oh, I don't want a picture, just take this. And then I'm saying, thank you, thank you, And they gave me 300 in total, and I'm running back again, back to the van, and the same feeling, God, you are insane, you are so crazy. And then, a side story, I tell the van, so I was very humble, you know, I struggled, I had this experience with my dad, and I was scared to open the door, and then, struggles. And then, with the help of Heavenly Parents to Parents, I made 500 euros. And then, because we're supposed to be very internal, everyone is very quiet. The video all just turned around and looked at me, and we're all very quiet. But that was one of my, it brings me a smile to think about it. But it was a really amazing, this was my craziest experience in fundraising, individual experience. So that was the third one. Let's go, top 3. Okay, and you guys have already seen this actually. If you guys were here last Christmas Sunday service, come to Sunday service, very cool. You don't want to miss out. But if you did, I made a small, some of you may take it in the wrong way, but it's more of a jokey video. It's an 18-minute video. I made it into 1 minute, so it's just going into the big parts, and it's more like a joke. Yeah, but this summarizes it pretty well, I think. And I want to say thank you to Chris. He's not here, but he recorded this video. So this is a summary of my third best experience. This is the Empower logo. And I want to talk about 1 week. Jacob, where's Sasha? Yeah. Sasha left. And that night, me and Jacob slept alone. I heard this weeping, this crying downstairs. Katie, I can't keep doing it. I want to go back home on Sunday. This team is dying. I couldn't help but cry in the car. Today I must carry you in my fundraising. 1,000. My responsibility. I told God, listen, if you want to keep your children in Empower, if you want to keep your children in the movement, you have to. I'm running around in these streets shouting, God, you're ridiculous. I fix it. There you go. Obviously, 1,000 is a big deal, you know. But yeah, that was my experience with more like team dynamics this time. I think, were you guys all there? Z wasn't. Most of you were there.
Most of us.
Yes. But yeah, it was a really crazy experience, and I'm not going to go over it because you guys were last time. But yeah, that was my third best experience. Now the second best experience involved witnessing, which is the main part. We were in Moldova for 4 months, which is the main part of my time in Empower. And I can say my best experience from witnessing comes from meeting this guy. And I want to share 3 stories about this guy. First story was, it all started with me praying in, this looks like a jungle, but it was just some trees, and I was praying, Heavenly Parents, only 3 more weeks. If you want to bring me someone, please bring me a leader. Bring me someone that's going to change the world in the future. Bring me someone that has such good discipline, someone that can bring people together, someone that is inspiring. Not long left. Please bring me just one more person, a really cool person. And then I meet this guy a few days later. And this guy is the kind of guy who's going to make a change, I think. Just like a quick example, there was much more examples, but at 16, he was making more than his teacher. And I remember meeting him on the street and doing the questionnaire with him. And when I met him, I did something that I've never done before with any other person I've met, at least like 800 people. I just told myself, this guy is good. I wrote the number 9, I don't know why I didn't write a 10, but 9 out of 10. I said, this guy is a 9 out of 10. And I've never scored anyone meeting thousands of people, but him, I scored, yes, he's good. So, that was the story of meeting him. And the second story was
What's his name?
Artyom. Artyom is the guy. And I had a mission after I met him. Even if he doesn't want to, I'm going to give him a whole DP in the next 2 weeks. And I don't know much of the DP lectures, but I'm going to learn them. I'm going to stay up every night. I'm going to educate this guy about the DP. Even if he doesn't like it, he's going to get it all. And so, coffee and divine principle was my life from those next 3 weeks. And 2 days before our flight, we were getting to the last lecture, Revealing True Parents. And something really interesting happened. He just totally illogically refused to hear the last lecture. All my team was around him like, don't you want to hear the last lecture? It's so cool. And he was like, nope, today I'm not. And then I was like, not fighting him, but my team leader really, really wanted him. Like, this was Stephen's goal. Let's do it. Come on, Artyom. Let's hear this last lecture. Just one more, 30 minutes, that's it. And he was like, no, I'm not. I want to have a conversation with you guys. I can get these lectures later, but right now I want to talk with you guys. And at the same time, it hurt because I had this illness for a few days, and I really thought that this illness, like when I was ill, surprisingly, I was very happy because I know that God is Satan is putting me through challenges, and this illness is exactly what he's putting me through, so that Artyom can have a condition to accept this truth. So strangely, I was very happy about being ill. But yeah, that was the story about giving lectures to him, and unfortunately, we didn't give him True Parents. But here comes the first story. So we come back for 1 more month after fundraising in spring condition. And Chambomoro. I really love Chambomoro. So much. And I studied it a lot, all the time. Coffee and Chambomoro is now my friend. And I would study it the whole month, and I can't explain logically why, but I really enjoy studying Chambomoro. And I made a lecture for Artyom Revealing True Parents finally through Chambomoro. And this was the picture I used to show it. I was doing this exact thing on a projector saying, but true parents have arrived. Long pause, and I click the button and I reveal this picture. And wow, what a feeling it is to reveal true parents to someone. It's actually really cool. I think the biggest smile I've ever had came after I put this picture on. And then explaining to him why, explaining our experiences, and he took it more, what's the word? Logically. How can you believe? And it was really, this is why it's one of my second best experiences. Because explaining to someone why you believe 100% something is real is really powerful. It's interesting. So I won't forget that. And anyways, after that, he committed to come to us on the same plane to High Noon in Prague, and then to our graduation in Italy. So I was very proud of him, like a parent, and I really felt the parental heart of embarrassment when he would do something bad, or real pride when he would do something really cool for someone. So yeah, I learned a lot from him. And now my top 1 experience, and Mona already knows, but and my parents, and you guys as well, but my number 1 experience from all of Empower, and of course it is fundraising. But I want to first start with something from Chon Sung-yong. Can we comprehend his sorrow? No, we cannot. Not fully. But I tried. You can see that. I tried, and I had the goal this time to touch God's heart of suffering. And I'm talking about right now my most amazing experience from the whole 9 months. This is it. At the start of the condition, I said for the whole month, I want to focus just on touching God's heart of suffering. Finally touching it. And I've been jokey throughout this. I've been making a lot of jokes in this presentation, but this one I was super serious about. Touch God's heart of suffering. And of course, classic DP, formation, growth, completion. And it goes up from 1 to 9. And something else, perfection, is 10. Right? And this is exactly how it went with my goal actually. On day 10, something incredible, something crazy happened, which led to my most amazing experience from Empower. Okay, so fundraising, getting dropped off. My team leader said, go here at 2 p.m. This area, you will have blessings. And my goal for the day was 1,400. And something I didn't share in the devotion was that I knew whatever goal I was going to set that day, I'm going to make. Because some experiences were going on in the morning and I knew, okay, I've had this feeling before. And I know this feeling is going to lead to me. I have the right mindset. I'm one with God right now. I'm going to make whatever goal I need. And I needed only 1,200. It's still hard, but I only needed 1,200, but because I knew whatever I'm going to set today, I'm going to get, because God wants it. So I set 1,400. And my team leader said, Stephen, whilst riding away, shout your eternal goal, because he saw I was motivated. And so I jumped onto a rock and I screamed to the neighborhood, comfort mother, because that was my goal for the day. And I made a lot of promises to True Mother that I didn't complete in the fundraising, so today I was really serious that I'm gonna make 1,400. Okay, sorry it's external, but I was running around the streets of Switzerland, and from the very beginning it was going very well. And it only goes very well from the very beginning because God wants to tell me one thing. I am with you. In this whole run, I am with you. Always when it goes very well from the beginning, God is showing me that, okay, today we're serious. Let's do it. So I know God is serious. Let's go. So I'm running faster and next. So I start to get closer to where my central figure told me to go, where I will receive blessings. And I get closer and something really interesting starts to happen. At the doors I go to, maybe only 8%, 10% are opening. Just to give you an imagination is, I was knocking, knowing they're not going to open, running to the next one, knocking, and knowing they're not going to open, and knocking, and then only running back when they say, hey, you knocked on my door. And I'm like, finally, someone opened. And I'll go back. So I've never experienced such a lonely neighborhood that there's no one. And it wasn't abandoned or anything, but just nobody home. And to an extent, I was feeling lonely, no object to relate to, because today is the day that I'm making my promise to True Mother. Today is the day. But nobody is opening. Why would my central figure lead me to this area where no one is opening? And in this area, an old man on the street, I approach him and he tells me, no son, you're in the wrong place. Go up north, over there are gardens. Everyone is there. And I'm thinking, really? I've been to these gardens before. Everyone's gardening, they don't have money, they don't have their wallets. I don't know, it doesn't make sense. But this sounds like a common theme, right? In these stories. This doesn't make sense. I don't know, sir. I need to make this go. But, okay. Alright. One last chance. So, and when I get there, really interestingly, the people were so pure. They were with their families, and I felt, yeah, as you can see, so joyful in this place, actually. And someone told me, it sounds like a dream. And it did. It felt like a dream. It felt like the nicest place I've been to, and externally, also the nicest place. People were giving very freely. And yeah, people were pure. They were hanging out with their families. Someone gave me a croissant, someone gave me a donut, and other people constantly offering me water. And yeah, everyone so friendly, so nice. And after this, I run back to Bakar thinking I have around 700, and I was really disappointed with myself because I don't know if I can make it now for the rest of the day. We still have blitzing, but I don't know if I can do 700 in a blitz. So I go to this McDonald's in Switzerland, and here I am. I remember very vividly, it looked like this, and in my pocket, I was counting the money. 400, 500, 600, okay, we're getting close. 700, and then I look back in my pocket. Wait, there's so much more, actually. I must have miscounted, and whoa, I keep on counting. Whoa, the actual result is much bigger than I thought it was. And I was feeling so much joy. I made my promise to Shimover. I already broken power record already, and there's still blitzing to go. And so I was feeling incredibly happy, as you can imagine, right? And we blitzed, and what I had at the time was 1,000. And 5 hours of blitzing, and I made it.
Yay.
As you can tell, that's not the main part of the story. Otherwise, I would have made it sound cooler, right? 1,400. I made it. But we get into the car, and it's 5 a.m., 1.5 hour drive. We go specially to this place, Basel, and it was very far, 2 hour drive, and we arrive home. And again, of course, it's dark. It's not light. We go to our room, and I lay on the floor the money. I pull it out of my pocket, bam, and I put it on the floor. And I realize, like, very obviously, that this is not everything. This is not it. Like, just as I knew this isn't it, because the amount of 20s, the red ones, I saw, I can just remember from my head. I can count the people that I've talked to who gave me a 20, and I have less 20s than I can remember. So I knew something's going on, and this isn't it. So I look again in my pockets, deeper into my pockets, every pocket. I had so many pockets because I had a jacket and trousers with so many pockets. I look in every pocket again, and then I look again, and then I look in my brother's room. I run to the brother's room, and actually I'm not running, I'm trying to be very calm for the scene. And I look into the brother's room, nothing. Pockets, nothing. Eugene, the driver, Eugene, can I get the car keys? I think I forgot something in the car. Okay, alright, in the car, nothing. I looked around under the seat, on the seat, nothing. And then again, back in my pockets, no, nothing. So, Jacob, my central figure, I need to talk to you. I think I lost around 400 euros. And so we finish the day, I count my money, I offer it up, and I give up. Like I've never given up before. I just without emotion, I went to bed. Earlier than everyone else, just count it, offer it up, and go to bed. And I struggled to sleep that night just thinking, why? And the morning comes, and here I am in the sun, reflecting whilst getting a tan, praying really strongly. Why did this happen to me? It was my promise. And a stream of revelations like I've never had before in my life came to me. And I had my notebook, luckily. And I'm writing down everything, and it makes perfect sense, actually, once I realize this one thing. And it makes total sense. Exactly why everything happened, I experienced before. Like step by step, exactly before. Let me go through it. So at the beginning, there were these houses where I could not relate to anyone. There was no one I could talk to. Lonely, no object to relate to. And I go to this place, coincidentally a garden. I've never fundraised a garden, only twice, and this was the second time in the whole 100 days. And yeah, the people were innocent, there were families, and one with nature, and I was feeling very happy. I'm not making any of this up. This is what was happening. And I was feeling so happy, like I said, right? So joyful. And after I reached the ideal, or my goal, immense joy. Finally, I did it for Trimmer. So joyful. Finally. And then something happened. I don't really know what happened. It fell out or it was a pickpocket. But this was before. And I fell right below. Like Karen told me, if you make over 1,000 something, then you now have permission to do this other thing, which is a bigger story, but I needed to make this goal at least. But I fell right below. So I lost 400, and all of God's children that would have been restored from that money, gone. And this is all I could think about. Like God, I had no control. I could just look at the money on the ground in Switzerland. Not like I can go out fundraising for a few more hours, right? Or I can't go drive back to 2 hours to Basel to find the money, right? I can't do anything. No control. I can just watch it happening. And all I could do was stare at the money. And this is the last thing, maybe, yeah, a cool experience. So in the morning, calling parents. We all get to call our parents every week. So calling mom and dad, I was saying the story, what happened, and my revelation why it happened. And, you know, I couldn't finish the story because I was crying so much. But my dad was like, son, it's okay. We don't need to hear all of it. Let's hang up here. And I was like, okay, all right. So hang up, and then I carry on crying, and I'm just saying, sorry, God. I made so many promises, I failed. I didn't make it, and I'm sorry. And then I look up to the sun, my cheeks are crusty from the tears, and I rub them. And the sun is shining on me, and I didn't want people to see me crying, so I was looking down. But I finally brought my face up. And I realized I experienced God, I touched God's hearts of suffering on day 10. And I think that's it, but I want to leave you with this. Do you think that's long enough, Dad, or what do you think? Because I would like to leave you with this one song that makes me feel good and empowered. So, let's go.